Chardonnay True Crime fans, welcome back to another episode of Chardonnay True Crime. I'm your host, Dakota. With me, as always, is the lovely Kate.
That's me.
That is her. And tonight we are going to be discussing the Moors murders perpetrated by Ian Brady and Myra Hindley. So this week on Couples Who Kill. Ooh. There's a show on like Investigation Discovery or something, and it's called Wicked Attraction.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I always thought that it would be better called Couples Who Kill. It just gives you everything that you need to know about the show right there in the title, Couples Who Kill.
Spoilers.
But instead it's Wicked Attraction. So it's like they're wicked.
Just okay. All right, Steven Schwartz.
Yeah, right. Ooh, thank you, Dana. Yeah, this is an intense story, absolutely. But yeah, no, it is an intense story, this one, and just because of the number of victims and just the lack of information that is actually really out there about Myra and Ian, I was actually able to wrap this up in one episode. It's going to be a little bit of a long episode because we've got about 10 pages of notes, but I was able to wrap it up in one episode as opposed to doing two 35-minute episodes. So, you know.
There you go. So yeah, one long episode we'll probably do
exactly.
one shot on Thursday or something.
What? Yeah, we'll do another one shot on Thursday, exactly. Yeah. Dana says they're fucked up. That's what they are. Absolutely. Actually, Dana told me a funny story, and Dana, I hope it's okay with you that I'm sharing this with the audience. But Dana's the one who made our intro music for the podcast, and for that Dana, yeah. So Dana like texted me a little while ago, and she was like, I'm listening to iTunes on random, and the song that I made for you came up, and the scream just happened, and it scared me. I was just like, "Oh my god, Dana!" And she was like, "It's happened a few times." And I'm like, oh my god, I love that so much.
Oh, I need to crack my neck. Hang on one second.
Oh,
that was great.
Dude, your mic picked that up like so well too.
Nice.
You're
welcome,
crazy.
Everybody.
Yeah. ASMR of Kate's neck cracking.
Next time we'll do bubble wrap.
Yeah. Except that it won't actually be bubble wrap. It'll just be Kate's neck cracking again.
Yeah. It'll just be my joints. My joints.
Just her joints.
I'm just gonna roll myself up in a blanket and then twist.
No, that's just a little bit too close to what Albert Fish did. Gonna trigger my fight or fight again. And note, I did not say fight or flight. I said fight or fight because I was ready to fight.
Oh shit, I left my game on. Add me on Animal Crossing, you guys. Oh, Jesus. It's been a day.
Kate went and got her teeth scraped today.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Yeah, she messaged me and she was just like, my mouth is so sore. I was just like, dude, I bet.
Yeah, and I get to go in 3 months instead of 6 months because my teeth are that fucked.
Yeah.
But not nearly as fucked as I thought. And also, I apparently looks like I only have 3 of 4 wisdom teeth, so that explains why I'm so dumb.
Yep, that explains it. You didn't get your full wisdom.
Yep.
Yeah. I got all 4 in at once and had all 4 removed at once.
Ooh.
I was 16 and yeah, it was pretty wild. We got a comment here from Dan saying, see the aliens in New Jersey yesterday? 2020 strikes again. No, I didn't, but if you see them again, will you send them my way? I will pay them to take me away from here.
Just, I don't know if they take Earth money I don't have a lot, but I'm sure they cover dental better than the US does.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, you should just go to Mexico to get your teeth taken care of. It's so cheap down there. I have a friend who told me that like altogether, like all of the dental work they had in like Mexico, like one visit only ended up costing like $100, and like for like the amount of stuff that they did in that one visit, it was insane. And for it to only be like $100, like that's wild. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna go down to Mexico and get dental work done.
Yeah, I just shared a post yesterday that was like somebody's story of like their experience going to the dentist in like Japan or something.
Yeah.
And they had like a broken crown and they needed like a filling, and so like they had to have like a good number of things fixed, and
Right.
all together it cost them like the equivalent of like $130. It cost me $247 just for my assessment, and then today it cost me $130 just to get my teeth scraped.
Do you have dental insurance?
I don't know that I have any insurance right now.
Ew. See, you personally, like, forget the like rest of the house and everything. You personally should try to get onto Medi-Cal or Medi-Cal. I think that's what I have. But like, it doesn't cost me anything a month. Like because I'm poor, you know. I'm sure because you have a job, it'll probably cost you something a month, but still, it's better than not having it.
Yeah, that's true. Oof.
You good?
Yeah, that's just cold and my teeth are sensitive.
Yeah, your teeth are going to be sensitive for a little bit, but like I always like after I get a deep clean to have like a cold drink because it feels really weird. And like literally because of that in itself, that is the reason that I met Pee Wee Herman.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I had to stay home from work one day to go to the dentist. I mean, I didn't technically have to, but my appointment was at like noon. So I was like, I'll just stay home. So I was like, hey, I've got a dentist appointment. Like, I can't come in today. And they were like, oh, okay, that's fine. So I was like, yeah, it's at like a really awkward moment in the day. Like, it just doesn't make sense for me to like go in at all. They're like, whatever, see you tomorrow. I was like, all right, cool. So then after my appointment, I just went across the street to the liquor store, like, and to like get a drink, and I went in through the back, and I like paid, and then I like looked out front, and I was like, "What are they doing out there?" And they're like, "Oh, they're filming." So I like, I was like standing out the front watching them film, and then fucking Paul Rubens rolls up on his little like go-kart thing that he was like, or his little golf cart, and he was just like, "Hey, here, I have this thing for you." And I was like, thank you. And it's like this postcard that says, I met Paul Rubens on the set of Pee Wee's Big Holiday. And then he was like, stay right there. And I was like, okay. So I stay there. And then his assistant comes over and he's just like, hi, Paul would like to know if he can get a picture with you. I was just like, oh. And then I ran into him like a year later or something. And we like ran into each other at a party. And then he invited me to another party a few days later, and so I went to that, and then at that other party, he told me that he has the picture of he and I in his living room.
Aw, I didn't know that. I don't think you ever told me that part of the story.
Probably not, no, but it's a thing. Yeah, Paul Rubens has my picture in his living room. What'd you say?
Paul Rubens is a fan.
Yeah. Oh, he's a sweetheart. We email occasionally.
And anytime I see Pee Wee stuff, I try to get it for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I have the dolls up, or the pop figs up. Yes, I'm like, I can't word.
That's okay. I got 3 hours of sleep. I'm right there with you.
Trying a new wine tonight. It's called True Myth. The lady that I'm house sitting for bought it and left it for me. She bought me 2 bottles of Chardonnay. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Catherine. All right, but let's get it started with the Moores murders.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about somebody, weren't we?
It's actually really funny. In the notes, I titled it "The Moores Murders Part 1," and then got like all the way, like halfway through the notes, and I was just like, I can wrap this up in one episode. Forget that. So, anyways, the Moores murders were perpetrated by Ian Brady and Myra Hindley between July 1963 and October 1965 in and around Manchester, England.
Manchester.
The victims were 5 children: Pauline Reed, John Kilbride, Keith Bennett, Leslie Ann Downey, and Edward Evans, aged between 10 and 17, and at least 4 of whom were sexually assaulted. So in tonight's episode, we're going to have big themes of sexual assault against children, murder of children, not nice stuff against children, basically. It's going to be a rough one tonight, guys. So just keep heads up about that. So 2 of the victims were discovered in graves dug on Saddleworth Moor, and a 3rd grave was discovered there in 1987, more than 20 years after Brady and Hindley's trial. Bennett's body is also thought to be buried there, but despite repeated searches, it remains undiscovered. The pair were charged only in the deaths of Kilbride, Downey, and Evans and received life sentences. The investigation was reopened in 1985 after Brady was reported as having confessed to the murders of Reed and Bennett. And after confessing to those additional murders, Brady and Hindley were taken separately to Saddleworth Moor to assist in the search for the graves. They are characterized by the press as she is characterized by the press as the most evil woman in Britain. Myra Hindley has made several appeals against her life sentence, claiming that she was a reformed woman and no longer a danger to society, but she was never released. She did pass. They've both passed away since then. She died in 2002, and he died in 2017, actually.
Yeah. Are they just old?
He died. What did he die of? He died. I have it up on a different page. Hang on a second. Let me see what he died of. 2017. Let me see here. He died of a restrictive pulmonary disease. So I guess his lungs just kind of stopped working at that point. Yeah,
I assume lungs or heart.
Yeah, pulmonary. Yeah. So and then she died of. Let me see. She died from bronchial pneumonia in 2002. But she smoked 40 cigarettes a day.
Jesus Christ.
How the fuck do you even have time to smoke that much? I'm a smoker and I can get through 6 a day and that's it.
Also, that shit's expensive. Well, I mean, I guess back then they weren't as expensive.
Not quite, no. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like the 60s, it was like, oh God, what did I watch? I watched Dazed and Confused, which takes place in the 70s. And there's a sign at one point where it says cigarette 79 cents. And I was just like, I just wanted to just flip the coffee table. Just like, I pay $10 a pack for fucking cigarettes.
It's like seeing gas prices in old movies. It's just like, fuck you. What?
Do you know what gas prices are like in the Midwest right now?
No.
Tell you what, I've got a friend in Iowa. Let me just text her and ask her how much gas is out there because I read something about it being like 99 fucking cents. All right. I texted her. We'll find out. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just, it's wild. Just the Midwest, everything is cheaper and I hate it. And I accidentally kind of blew up on TikTok over the past few days as I've been updating Kate with.
Yeah, seriously.
I accidentally blew up on TikTok in the past couple days, and I was doing a live stream, and I was smoking. At one point, one of the people there was like, "How much are cigarettes in Cali?" And I was like, $10 for these, and they were just like, "Oh," and I was just like, "How much are they where you are?" And they were like, "You don't want to know." Like, cool. Cool. That's great. Thank you so much. I'm gonna sit here and smoke my fucking. Oh my god. So gas in Iowa is like $2 right now. I know, right?
That's some bullshit.
I'm just writing back. Okay, wow. Like, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just okay. Wow. That's great. Good for Iowa. So the murders were the result of what Malcolm McCallum, the professor of forensic, Thea, says she thinks it's like 249 right now. Okay. So, Kate, to be fair, San Diego has some of the highest gas prices I have ever seen because, like, I'm in Hollywood right now and I saw gas for like 289.
Yeah, that's about what I've been seeing too. Well, at like a good gas station, I'll see like 289, 299. There was that one weird one that we saw where it was like 279 and we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I went and filled up all fast. I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm filling up here. That weird ass gas station is called, like, what was that one? Like Stars and Stripes or something like
it was
that.
like it was literally like across the street from the military base, like whatever.
Yeah.
And it like also had a taco shop there.
Yeah, that was so random. That was a really
like
weird gas station.
It was like a breakfast and taco shop like attached to the place. It was so bizarre.
Yeah,
and it was very weird.
And it was closed when we were getting gas at like 8:00 at night.
Yeah, hilarious.
Fucking
so, yeah,
weirdo.
I guess they only serve breakfast tacos.
You know what? That actually sounds fucking delicious.
I mean, if breakfast burritos are good, like, why wouldn't breakfast tacos be good?
And you know what? There are taco shells in the house that I'm house sitting for, so I'm gonna try and make breakfast tacos tomorrow.
Just throw in like a layer of scrambled eggs, some cheese on that, then like some sausage and bacon.
That's absolutely feasible. I could do that. I'm gonna do that.
Super simple.
The murders were the result of what Malcolm McCallum, professor of forensic psychiatry at Cardiff University, called a concentration of circumstances. The trial judge, Mr. Justice Fenton Atkinson, described Brady and Hindley in his closing remarks as two sadistic killers of the utmost depravity. Their crimes were the subject of extensive worldwide media coverage. So, having gotten through all of that, let's get started with who the Moors killers were. Let's start out with the, I guess, brains behind this situation, even though I refuse to call Ian Brady a smart man. Let's start out with Ian Brady. Ian Brady was born at Rotten Row Maternity Hospital in Glasgow to Margaret Peggy Stewart. I still don't understand why Peggy is a nickname for Margaret. Understand that. Why?
It's like, it's kind of the same way that like it's like I can kind of understand the connection because like you go from Margaret to like Margie, which can also be Maggie, which can become Meggie, which can become Peggy.
No, that doesn't make sense. It's like how people call people named Richard Dick.
That one I don't really understand. Like, I mean, I guess you have Richard, then you have Rich, and then you have Rick. And then maybe that one guy Rick was an asshole one time, so they started calling him Dick.
Either way, it's stupid, and I hate it.
And like Robert and Bob.
Bobbert.
And like William and Bill.
I don't. Anyway.
William, does anyone ever call you Bill? Do you have any
Yeah,
weirdos
William.
who call
Does
you
anyone ever
Bill?
call you Bill? We need to know for science.
We're taking a survey.
Yeah, we're taking a survey right here on the show. Tell us what the stupidest nickname people have ever called you is. Let us know in the comments.
Mine was my dad calling me Catherine when my name is Kathleen because he just straight up forgot my name.
Mine is your dad calling me Heather because he forgot my name.
Oh God, that's so funny.
And the fact that that's just like continued now.
Yeah.
You've been called
My
Bill
dad's old.
and
What do you
Billy. That sucks. Which do you prefer of the two, Bill or Billy? Or do you prefer Billiam? Which is now what I have to call you. Anyway. He was brought up in the tough slum neighborhood of the Gorbals. Peggy Stewart, a tea room waitress, found it difficult bringing up a child on her own and hoped to spare her son the social stigma of his illegitimacy. So she gave up young Ian to the nearby Sloan family, who adopted him into their own family and raised him as one of their own. Ian's father has never been identified, and Peggy Stewart claims that he was a journalist who died a few months before their son was born. Early on, Ian showed troubling signs of dysfunctional behaviors and moodiness. When he could not have his way, he would throw violent tantrums, which sometimes ended with him banging his head against the wall. Peggy occasionally came to visit her son and indulged him with gifts. Ian soon figured out for himself who Peggy Stewart really was, and likewise deduced that the Sloans were not his real family. Others in the neighborhood also caught up in the boy's socially unacceptable origins, and this, coupled with his sullen, unsociable personality and his lack of skill at football, made him unpopular with local children. Oh no, that kid, he's not good at soccer. We should shun him.
I mean, this is England.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, England goes fucking hard for soccer.
Yeah, they really do. They really fucking do. Like soccer and rugby and cricket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that British tea place down here, and there's like the pub right next door. The first time we ever went to the tea place was during the World Cup.
Oh God.
And like just every 5 or 10 minutes, just screams erupting from the pub. It was
The
hilarious.
other side of the wall is just
well, like it's a completely separate building, but it practically shook the floor. It was so funny. It was wild.
I believe it. I believe it. So Ian Sloan, as he was called then, came to resent his illegitimacy and began to see himself as a rebellious outsider, not bound by the same rules as others. How very James Dean of him. He was a rebel without a cause.
No kidding.
Yeah. And at school, he was a bright student and handsome and well-dressed, but again, not well-liked. And at the time of 11, he passed his entrance exams into Shawlands Academy. Can I help you? His potential was never realized, however, as he was lazy, would not apply himself, and misbehaved. And he started smoking and just basically gave up on his schoolwork. He
Boy,
then.
I don't know what that's like.
What?
Boy, I don't know what that's like. Aside from the smoking part.
Oh, I was like smoking and then giving up on schoolwork. Is that it? Every time I'm dog sitting, the dog that I sit for has to just sit in frame. Like it's the funniest thing. You good?
They all know they're meant to be stars.
Apparently.
I hope Lucy barges in here. It's so funny when she does that.
Anyways, So, as one does, this fucking kid discovered a fascination with Nazi Germany, Nazi
Oh boy.
pageantry, and Nazi symbolism. And he often asked other boys for souvenirs that their fathers brought back from the war. And when playing roughhouse war games, he would insist on being the German. And I'm going to go ahead and say that this isn't because of oh, wait, no, he was Russian. Never mind. That doesn't work. Too bad.
What were you going to say?
The Rocky movie.
Oh.
But it would have gone over your head, but at least someone out there would have gotten it.
It's like, why would you want to be the German? Like, do you just, like, would he just want to lose every single time? Did he enjoy being the loser?
I think I mean, fucking no. I mean, England is like really raw from the war too at this point, like this is like not, this is very recent history this is a very recent thing that people have gone through, and this kid is like obsessed with it in the way that like he shouldn't be.
No, really nobody should be, but especially like this soon, like, bruh, did you miss the part where it was over?
Oh, wait, it gets worse. It gets worse with this guy. I swear to God, it gets so much worse. So,
from scratch.
Yeah. So, it was about this time that Ian also became known for his perverse and sadistic tendencies. Wow, I cannot word right now. I am sorry about that. I say that word like every week. Fuck.
You good?
Yes. This included bullying smaller children and torturing animals in a variety of grotesque ways. And by the time he was a teenager, he had been brought before the juvenile courts for incidents of burglary and housebreaking. And on the first two occasions, he was given probation. He was deemed incorrigible, and the court ordered him to leave Glasgow and live with his mother. She had since moved to Manchester and had married an Irish laborer named Patrick Brady. In November 1954, 2 months before his 17th birthday, Ian left the Sloane house and traveled down to join his mother and her new husband. And although he did not get along with Mr. Brady, Ian took his stepfather's name and used it for his own. As a Scot exiled in an English city, Ian Brady's compounded feelings of isolation and hostility began to manifest in other ways. He would spend hours in his room reading and listening to music, and he developed an interest in the writings of the Marquis de Sade and Friedrich Nietzsche, focusing. He just hit the ground so hard. Like he like hopped off the couch, but he just went, bam, and then just walked away. I'm just like, are you okay?
He's probably just like, what?
Basically. But he began focusing particular attention on Nietzsche's theories of Übermensch and the will to power. He became increasingly enamored of a philosophy that championed cruelty and torture, and the idea that superior creatures had the right to control and destroy, if necessary, weaker ones. Brady avidly collected books about torture and sadomasochism and other paraphilias relating to domination and servitude. And around this time, he worked as a butcher's assistant, and some have surmised that the experience of regularly cutting meat away from the bone may have nurtured his growing interest in the physical acts of mutilation and murder. He also began drinking heavily and frequenting the cinema, and often found himself in need of extra spending money to support these new habits. He also was into gambling on horse races. So the young man resorted again to thieving, and after being convinced several more times, plus being arrested. And after being, sorry. I lost my spot. All right, hang on one sec. I'm so sorry. I totally lost my spot.
Hey.
So what?
It kicked me out of the document.
I'm sorry. I changed the permissions because there was a random person in there again. I don't know why this keeps happening.
Okay, I can still see it though. I can see like the not official docs version, basically.
You can what?
I can still see it. It's just not like in Google Docs now.
Where is it?
It's just through the Facebook link, basically. So it like,
okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
opens the one link first before you can open it in a whole other thing.
Okay. All right. So
Stop scratching the couch.
So the young man resorted again to thieving, and after being convicted several more times, plus being arrested and fined for an incident of public drunkenness, he was sentenced to 2 years training at Borstal School, as well as a spell at Strangeways Prison. While incarcerated, Brady learned illegal techniques for acquiring money and entertained grandiose fantasies of becoming a big-time criminal, pulling off lucrative bank heists, and hoped to avoid manual labor and aimed to appear respectable, and so studied bookkeeping. Because, this lazy kid is just like, oh, I'm too lazy to finish school, but I'm going to become a amazing criminal. Like, that's not going to happen, dude. It's not the way that works.
Yeah, like even if you're just a criminal, you still have to apply yourself if you're going to do it well and get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. So his release led to prolonged stretches of unemployment. And he began to work as a laborer for Boddington's Brewery between April and October of 1958 before spending a few more months unemployed. He eventually found a job in February 1959 as a stock clerk at Millward's Merchandising. Almost 2 years later, in January 1961, he met Myra Hindley, who had just been hired at Millward's as a shorthand typist and who was to become the other half of the internationally notorious Moores murders. For nearly 12 months, however, he remained disinterested and aloof, whereas she liked him enormously. But at the office Christmas party, relaxed by a few drinks, Brady finally asked her date. And that brings us to Myra Hindley, who was born on the 23rd of July, 1942, brought up in Gorton, which was a working class area of Manchester, and was the daughter of Nellie and Bob Hindley. Her mother and alcoholic father beat her regularly as a young child, and the small house that the family lived in was in such poor condition that Hindley and her parents had to sleep in the only available bedroom, she in a single bed next to her parents' double bed. The family's living conditions deteriorated further when Hindley's sister, Maureen, was born in 1946. Shortly after the birth, Hindley, then age 5, was sent by her parents to live with her grandmother, who lived nearby. Hindley's father had fought in North Africa, Cyprus, and in Italy during the Second World War and had served with the parachute regiment. He had been known in the army as a hard man, and he expected his daughter to be equally tough. He taught her how to fight and insisted that she stick up for herself. And when she was 8, a local boy approached her in the street and scratched both of her cheeks with his fingernails, drawing blood. She burst into tears and ran into her parents' house to be met with her father, who demanded that she go and punch the boy down because if you don't, I'll leather you. Hindley found the boy and succeeded in knocking him down with a sequence of punches as her father had taught her. And as she later wrote, at 8 years old, I'd scored my first victory.
I mean, like, that may have not been the best way to, like, get her to do it, but that was the right thing to have her do. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that was perfectly justified.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you know, it's maybe not the best idea to be like, either beat up that kid or I'm going to beat you up. But at the same time, like, definitely teach your kids how to stand up for themselves. Like, that's a good thing to do. You good?
Oh, I just felt something weird on my tooth. That was very, very weird.
Was it a lack of plaque?
No, I think it felt like something like coming off of my tooth, so it may have been plaque coming off of my tooth.
Oh, that happens. Yeah.
Oh, that was weird. I didn't like that.
Maybe floss.
I'm going to. I have to floss every day now.
Twice a day.
I know I should. That seems excessive. Why would you floss twice a day?
Every time you brush your teeth. Because plaque buildup, Kate.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if you do it, like, at the end of the day, like...
But if you do it in the beginning of the day, that'll, like, scrape off any plaque that's growing between your teeth.
I don't know. Twice a day sounds like a bit much, but whatever. I'll at least do it once a day.
You floss 2 times a day right now, so of course it sounds excessive to you.
Okay, I do it every once in a while, but I would still only do it once a day if I did.
You're supposed to floss twice a day.
That doesn't sound right, but whatever. We're not here to talk about flossing.
Again, you floss no times a day.
We're not here to talk about flossing. We're here to talk about murder.
Okay. You're murdering your...
You cut out, so I don't know what you said, so that's fine.
Wow. Wow. You're such a fucking liar.
I'm actually not lying. You did cut out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So again, Malcolm McCullough, the professor of forensic psychiatry at Cardiff University, has suggested that the fight and that part and the part that Hindley's father played in it may be key pieces of evidence in trying to understand her role in the Moores murders. The relationship with her father brutalized her. She was not only used to violence in the home, but rewarded for it outside. Stop. Why are you eating food on the couch? Hey. He does this thing where he'll go get food out of the kitchen and then bring it somewhere else to eat. It's really weird.
My dogs will sometimes do that with their treats, but it's just because they're trying to keep them away from each other because they're all greedy bastards.
He doesn't have any competition here.
Huh.
Yeah. He's just weird. He is a weird boy. Anyways. The relationship with her father brutalized her. She was not only used to violence in the home, but rewarded for it outside. When this happens at a young age, it can distort a person's reaction to such situations for life. One of her closest friends was 13-year-old Michael Higgins, who lived a street nearby. In June 1957, he invited her to go swimming with friends at a local disused reservoir. A good swimmer, Hindley chose not to go and instead went out with a friend, Pat Jepson. Higgins drowned in the reservoir, and upon learning his fate, Hindley was deeply upset and blamed herself for his death. She collected for a funeral wreath and his funeral at St. Francis's Monastery in Gorton Lane, the church where Hindley had been baptized as a Catholic on August 16, 1942, and that had a lasting effect on her. Her mother had only agreed to her father's insistence that she be baptized a Catholic on one condition: she was not sent to a Catholic school, as her mother believed that all monks taught was the catechism. Hindley was increasingly drawn to the Catholic Church after she started at Ryder Brow Secondary Modern and began taking instruction for formal reception into the church soon after Higgins' funeral. She took the confirmation name of Veronica and received her first communion in November 1958. She also became a godparent to Michael's nephew, Anthony John, and it was around this time that Hindley first began to bleach her hair. Hindley's first job was as a junior clerk at a local engineering firm. She ran errands, made tea, and typed, and she was well liked at the firm, enough so that when she lost her first week's wage packet, the other girls had a collection to replace it. She also had a short relationship with Ronnie Sinclair from Christmas 1958 and became engaged on Christmas of that year. Their engagement was called off, however, several months later. They apparently thought Sinclair immature and unable to provide her with the life she had envisioned for herself. So Hindley's, starting to get around a little bit. She's starting to live a life. She's starting to become a person of her own, or she's trying to. And, it sounds like she's maybe a little bit less violent than she was as a child. Let's hope.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. And, I feel like 17 is a good age for someone to be kind of figuring this out.
Yeah, definitely. Shortly after her 17th birthday, she changed her hair color with a pink rinse. She also took judo lessons once a week at local school, but found her partners reluctant to train with her, as she was often slow to release her grip. Later, she took a job at Bratby and Hincliffe, an engineering company in Gorton, but was sacked for absenteeism after 6 months. So she just straight up stopped showing up for work.
That's a good way to be successful.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Just assert your dominance and your confidence in your abilities by just not going to work. They're not going to fire me.
They won't fire me. They need me more than I need them.
My dad actually has a very similar story to that. He got fired from a job pretty much exactly like that.
Because they need me more than I need them. And then it turns out they didn't need him that much.
Well, it was sort of like that. And also it was his birthday. And he was like, hey, it's my birthday. I'm not coming in. And he was like, well, if you don't come in, you don't have a job tomorrow. So he didn't go in.
Okay. Do you know how many birthdays I've worked through? God.
Yeah, right? Seriously.
But anyways, in 1961, the then 18-year-old Myra Hindley joined Millward's as a typist. She soon became infatuated with Ian Brady, despite learning that he had a criminal record, and began a diary. And although she had dates with other men, some entries detail her fascination with Brady, whom she eventually spoke to for the first time on July 27th, 1961. Over the next few months, she continued to make entries and grew increasingly disillusioned with him until December 22nd, when Brady finally asked her on a date at the Christmas. So can you guess what they did for their first date? Don't look at the notes. Just guess what they did for their first date.
Murder.
No.
Got married.
No. Thank God, no. Wouldn't surprise me, but no. They went to the movies, which is super normal. However, they went on a date to the movies and saw a movie about the Nuremberg trials.
What's that?
The Nuremberg trials is the trials that they had. It's the trials that they had after World War II, where they were sentencing Nazis and stuff for war crimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So their dates started to follow a regular pattern. A trip to the cinema, usually to watch an X-rated film, and then back to Hindley's house to drink German wine. Brady then began to give her reading material, and the pair spent their work lunch breaks reading aloud to one another accounts of Nazi atrocities.
Yikes.
Yep. And Hindley, instead of being like, this guy that I'm kind of sort of dating is really weirdly into the wrong side of the war, instead of being like, maybe I should not get involved with this, she was just sort of like, bet, okay, we're going to get as German as we fucking can in here, and began to emulate the ideal of Aryan perfection. She kept her hair bleached blonde and began applying thick crimson lipstick. She did also express some concerns at some aspects of his character. In a letter to a childhood friend, she mentioned an incident where she had been drugged by Brady, but also was like, yeah, he drugged me, but like, I'm obsessed with him.
Oh, honey.
Yeah. And I know that may sound like, conjecture or just like, oh, she was like obsessed with him. She literally said that she was obsessed with him.
Oh, honey.
Yeah. It's not good. So a few months later, she asked her friend to destroy the letter, and in a 30,000 word plea for parole written in 1978 and 1979 and submitted to Home Secretary Marilyn Rees, Hindley said, within months, he, Brady, had convinced me that there was no God at all. He could have told me that the earth was flat, the moon was made of green cheese, and the sun rose in the west, and I would have believed him. Such was his power of persuasion. Just, yeah, you were manipulated AF, but also, like, you got to take some responsibility for this shit, because like, there were warning signs all over the place.
Yeah, like, there were red flags literally, like, waving in your face, and you were kind of like, excuse me.
Yeah, he was waving the fucking red flags in her face, and she was just sort of like, I'm fine with this.
Those red flags had swastikas on them, honey.
Yeah, they did. That's exactly the red flags that he was waving in her face. And yet, she stayed with him.
Yeah, and instead she was just like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm super into this, yeah. Him, just do that again.
Whoop.
Just do that again. Do that again.
Oh, you like when I say yeah?
Okay, well, now I have to fuck you. That is actually a conversation that they had, we assume.
She became his very own Lily Von Stupp.
Don't drag Lily that way.
That's true. She was far more powerful than that.
Do not drag Lily Von Stupp that way.
But, I'm so sorry. I do not mean to disrespect Lily Von Stupp. I am in the wrong here. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you are. Wow.
I would just like to apologize personally to Madeline Kahn.
I would also like that if you would apologize personally to Madeline Kahn, because wow.
Just please do not hold that against me. 'Twas a joke. It was said in jest. I am so sorry.
As you should be. But Hindley began to change her appearance further, wearing clothes that were considered risque, which in the 60s, probably meant like it was above her knee, or worn above her knee.
With leather boots and whips on their hips. It's risque, dare I say S&M.
So it's actually not that. I mean, I'm not quite wrong. She wore high boots, short skirts, and leather jackets, and the two became less sociable to their work colleagues. The couple, however, were regulars at the library, borrowing books on philosophy as well as crime and torture.
Great combination.
Such a great fucking combination.
Just the librarian, just like, oh, philosophy books. Oh, with those books.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and believe that the librarian was much more okay with the crime and torture books than they were with the philosophy books. Let's be honest.
Just they saw the crime and torture books and they were like, oh, okay, somebody has an interesting fixation. Oh God, philosophy.
Oh God, just take it. Just don't even bring it back. We don't want it. We don't want it back.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you. It really makes me sound like I hate philosophy, which I don't. I just hate people who obsess over philosophy. I said what I said.
I know you did. I have no comment.
Anyways. Hey, I know plenty of those people too.
Yeah.
Trust me, I do. Trust me, I do. And I know you know who I'm thinking of. I'm just not going to say their name on a live stream right now.
I know.
I'm not going to drag my friends.
I know.
Anyways, so they read books about they read books by Marquis de Sade and Dostoevsky, and they were into a myriad of different genres of book, but also it's like all those books that like freshmen guys in college read to try and seem edgy and cool. Just saying.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
although she's
like,
not
just any guy
what?
like, no, you lost me at Dostoevsky.
Yeah. Just anyone who's like, oh, I'm reading, Tolstoy, I'm just going to be like, cool. I've read Tolstoy, and I know that when a guy says it, they're going to misinterpret the fuck out of it, and then just be like, oh, well, Tolstoy says this, and you're just like, cool.
Just, do I care, though?
It's the same reason why I won't date Christians, because I've read the Bible.
Yeah.
Anyways, so even though Myra was not a qualified driver, she did pass her test on the third attempt in late 1963. Hindley often hired a van in which the two would plan bank robberies. So stupid. They'd rent a van just to sit in it and plan bank robberies.
Just, I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt and just be like, that's just a really bad cover for them to say like that's what they were doing instead of just saying that they were fucking. But I doubt that they were actually fucking.
Yeah, because there was actually a third person involved in this. So there is actually a witness to them planning bank robberies. Yeah, because she became friends with a guy named George Clitheroe, the president of the Cheadle Rifle Club, and on several occasions visited two local shooting ranges. George, although puzzled by her interest, arranged for her to buy a .22 rifle from a gun merchant in Manchester. She also asked to join a pistol club, but she was a poor shot and allegedly often bad-tempered, so she was told that she was unsuitable. And she did, however, purchase a Welby 45 and a Smith & Wesson 38 from other members of the club.
Real quick. I just feel like you might get a kick out of this. I read his name before you said it, and logically, I was pretty sure it was Clitheroe, but my brain was like, Clit Hero.
No! Kate!
I didn't think it was right, but my brain was just like clit. The word clit is right there. It is clit hero.
Clit hero, aka the thing that nobody in this story is.
Oh God.
I am fairly certain that no one in this story can find the clit even on themselves. Looking at you,
No.
Myra. Looking at you.
Oh my God. Oh,
Although I
God,
just like
clit
as we're like Thea has a good comment here. She says, "Clit hero for the win."
Oh God, that's what I call that's what I name my vibrators.
Clit heroes. I don't have names for my vibrators, but I have like mentally arranged them from like winner to meh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like winner is like the top one, like this is the best ever, and then meh. Yeah.
Just I have this one.
I own it.
It
Also,
is
I would like
certainly
to
here in my possession.
Also, I would like to apologize if everyone is able to hear the street traffic just outside. I am staying in Beverly Hills in an old apartment. This apartment was, I'm pretty sure, built in like the 20s, I would say. And I am right next to a major street at the moment. So there's a lot of street traffic sounds.
Well,
So.
I have headphones on and I can't hear any of it, so I think I would assume everyone else is okay, but I don't want to speak for everybody. I just know that I can't hear any background noise on your end.
That's good because it's like really loud to me.
Yeah, anytime like I'm looking over this way, it's because I'm hearing like rumbling from outside from like the base or the street.
Okay, cool. But like here's what I'm thinking whenever they're like talking about like Myra getting all these guns and stuff. I'm just like remembering, like it's the country. Everybody and their mums have got guns. Like who? Farmers. Who else?
Farmers' mums.
Farmers' mums.
And then I love that we get like the call back to that at the end.
Yeah, right? Farmers' mom.
Mom! Oh God. Oh, I want to watch that now.
Me too. That Sergeant Angel's coming into town. Look at his horse. Have a look at his arse. Have a look at his horse. Fuck, I love that movie.
No luck catching them swans then.
Actually, it's just the one swan.
Oh God.
Catching them killers then.
It's just the one killer actually. Just like ice cream on his face.
Shocked Pikachu face.
What's the matter? You got brain freeze?
Oh, what did he say? I've got brain
wave.
Brain wave. Yeah, that's it. But anyways, no, anytime they talk about her with guns, that's all I can think of is just Hot Fuzz. It's so stupid. But Brady and Hindley's plans for robbery, of course, came from nothing. Or it ended with nothing, because of course neither of them were gonna rob a fucking bank. Because I think they were Bonnie and Clyde. And Bonnie and Clyde weren't even as good as they seem. Like, we'll do a whole series on Bonnie and Clyde at some point.
Yeah, they're on the list.
They're on the list. And actually, when Kate comes out and sees me in a couple weeks, I'm going to take her out to Nevada, and we're going to go see the Bonnie and Clyde car on our way out. So that'll be cool.
Oh boy, that's exciting.
And then on our way back, Kate's going to let me go looking for a deserted, what was it? A deserted health spa in the desert.
You'll have to remind me of that because that's not sounding familiar, but
Zizek. Zizek.
Oh. Okay. That's familiar. That's familiar.
You said I wasn't allowed to go alone, and that I had to, and then I was like, fine, you'll go with me. And you said, okay, yeah, fine.
Oh, okay. That was one of those agreements that I made.
Holding you to it. Holding you to it.
Well, I guess we'll see when we get out there.
We're doing it. We are going out there. I have gotten directions. Kate. It's happening.
I'm gonna lick the Liberty Bell.
All right. So their plan obviously came to nothing because they're idiots. But they actually did become pretty interested in photography. Brady already owned a box brownie, which I guess is what they call it, one of those box cameras, you know? I'm gonna look that
No,
up.
I don't know.
You've never seen those cameras that were like little boxes?
Like, I'm picturing the ones that are like super, super, super old that are like have the like expanding thing and like the like.
No, not quite that old. Hang on.
Yeah. Like that doesn't sound practical or
So
for the
this is
time.
probably not going to sound fantastic, just because like I house sitting, so I don't exactly have two screens with me right now that I can use. But I'm going to show you the picture. I'm going to share screen. And if I'm going to try not to talk a whole lot, because I know that when I share my screen and I don't have a second monitor, it doesn't sound great. It sounds pretty echoey, but I do want to like just share so that you know what I'm talking about.
Maybe just turn your mic off while you're showing it, unless you need to talk about it. Oh, that thing. Okay.
All right, so that thing.
Got it. Ow.
Yeah.
Just,
so that is
really fucking hard.
What?
I like put my hand down, but I did it really hard, so I just like slapped my thigh really fucking hard.
Forget about a knee slapper. That's a thigh slapper. But anyway, so yeah, so it's a box brownie is what they called them. He owned a box brownie, which he used to take photographs of Hindley and her dog Puppet. But he upgraded to a more sophisticated model and also purchased lights and darkroom equipment. And the pair took photographs of each other that for the time would have been considered explicit. So probably just like her and like her bra or something. And then people are just like, oh my God, you own a bra. You have boobs. Victoria's Secret has been spoken about.
I mean, I don't know. Like, there's definitely some there's some pretty decent pictures of like old nudes that you could find.
Oh, dude, I know. I've seen them. I've seen like silent film porn before.
Classy, tasteful.
Oh yeah. But as soon as film was invented, porn was invented.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's actually a really great bit about that on What We Do in the Shadows. So when you come up, I'm gonna have to show you the movie and then the TV show, because you are going to love them both.
Okay.
And I mean, you know, the movie's got Taika in it, so you know it's gonna be good.
Oh my God, right? Yeah, we love Taika. We stan.
We stand Taika.
We stand Taika Cohen.
You're really mad that his last name is Cohen, aren't you?
I'm not even mad about it. It's just so strange to me because like I just thought Taika Waititi was his real name. Cause like why would you fake that?
Well, I mean, a lot of times they have to change their names to get into like certain associations and stuff like that. Like that's why, that's why a lot of people change their names, like Davy Jones from the Monkees.
That wasn't his name?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Or no, that was his name, but then someone else had to change their name because he was already a musician by the name of Davy Jones.
Oh.
And I can't remember who it was off the top of my head right now, but I know that happened. But anyways, let's keep going. So for Hindley to be taking these explicit photos, that marked it demonstrated a huge change in her from her earlier, more shy nature. But at one point, Hindley, in later times, Hindley claimed that Brady began talking about committing the perfect murder in around July 1963. He often spoke to her about Meyer Levin's Compulsion, which was published in 1956. And the novel is a fictionalized account of the Leopold and Loeb case, the telling of the story of two young men from well-to-do families who attempt to carry out the perfect murder of a 12-year-old boy and who escape the death penalty because of their age. And that brings us to the first victim, Pauline Reed. On July 12th, 1963, Brady told Hindley that he wanted to commit murder. After work, he instructed her to drive the borrowed van around while he followed on his motorcycle, and when he spotted a likely victim, he would flash his headlight. Driving down Gorton Lane, Brady saw a young girl and signaled Hindley, who did not stop because she recognized the girl as an 8-year-old neighbor of her mother. Sometime after 7:30 p.m. on Froxmer Street, Brady signaled Hindley to stop again for 16-year-old Pauline Reed, a schoolmate of Myra's sister Maureen, on her way to a school dance. Hindley offered Reed a lift, and at various times, Hindley gave conflicting statements about the extent to which she, versus Brady, was responsible for Reed being selected as their first victim, but she also said that she felt that there would be less attention given to the disappearance of a teenager than to that of a missing 8-year-old. Once Reed was in the van, Hindley asked her for help in searching Saddleworth Moor for an expensive lost glove. A lost glove.
It was expensive.
I guess. And Reed agreed, and they drove there. And the reason that Reed probably agreed was because, she knew Myra because she went to school with Maureen.
Yeah, I mean, familiarity, it's effective, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. That is absolutely true. But she agreed to help, and they drove to the moor. When Brady arrived on his motorcycle, Hindley told Reed that he would be helping them in the search. Hindley later claimed that she waited in the van while Brady took Reed onto the moor, and Brady returned alone after about 30 minutes and took Hindley to the spot where Reed lay dying. Reed's clothes were in disarray, and she had been nearly decapitated by 2 cuts to the throat, including a 4-inch incision across her voice box, inflicted with considerable force, and into which the collar of her throat, or of her coat, and a throat chain had been pushed. When Hindley asked Brady whether he had raped Reed, Brady replied, "Of course I did." Hindley stayed with Reed while Brady retrieved a spade he had hidden nearby on a previous visit and then returned to the van while Brady buried Reed. In Brady's account, Hindley was not only present for the attack, but had participated in the sexual assault as well. So the real story is really unknown at this point, just because these two gave such conflicting stories against each other. Personally, I do believe that that Myra helped.
Yeah, but both of them just kind of threw each other under the bus, huh?
It's more she tried to throw him under the bus, and honestly, I think that he gave more of the truth than she did.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
As I'll state later, he was later diagnosed as a psychopath, but this guy is one that like admits to the things that he did, you know?
Oh, okay.
And I don't think that he would lie about. I mean, he seems to not lie so much about what he did, and I really don't think that he would lie just to be like, oh well, she did it too. Like, I think that he was probably just like, yeah, I did it, and so did fucking she. But like, y'all are gonna believe her because she's a lady, and she's like, oh my god, he made me do it. I think that Myra was a lot more into what she was doing than she seems, personally.
Yeah, I feel like given like the time period that this is in, it would have been a lot easier for her to just be like, "Oh, poor me, I was manipulated," and like just say it.
Yeah, exactly. She tried to save herself by throwing him under the bus, and it didn't work. However, in the early evening of the 23rd of November, 1963, at a market in Ashton-under-Lyne, Brady and Hindley offered 12-year-old John Kilbride a lift home, saying that his parents might worry that he was out so late, but they also promised him a bottle of sherry. Like, your parents may worry that you're out so late, but also if you get in the car, we will give you a whole bottle of sherry.
Also, sherry is disgusting. Sherry's gross.
Gets the kids into the car. Sherry.
Maybe he meant a copy of Sherry by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Is that what the kids were into those days?
Maybe.
It was the 60s. I feel like that's about the right time period.
But a bottle of sherry.
Gross.
Once Kilbride was inside Hindley's hired Ford Angelia car, Brady said that they would have to make a detour to their home for the sherry. En route, he suggested another detour, this time to search for a glove Hindley had lost on the moor. Oh.
Damn, bitch, keep track of your fucking gloves or you're going to keep
Seriously,
killing kids.
God damn, Myra. When they reached the moor, Brady took Kilbride with him while Hindley waited in the car. Brady sexually assaulted Kilbride and tried to slit his throat with a 6-inch serrated blade before strangling him with either a shoelace or a string.
Yikes.
Use a serrated blade to cut somebody's throat. That's just way too difficult.
Humans aren't loaves of bread. Jesus Christ.
Seriously. Ugh. That's just so much more messy.
Yeah, it's like that's a lose-lose. Like, it's gonna be more work for you and worse for them. Yeah. Not that you care, probably, but still.
But more work for you.
Yeah.
At least if you have like a nice blade, you can just drag it across their throat real quick and then they'll be dead real fast. Like, just sharpen your knife. But like a serrated knife, like, fuck, you're gonna have to like saw at their neck. Like, I'm sorry, but
you're gonna be at that for a while, buddy. Hang on 1 second. I just need to get some eye drops real quick.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I like slammed my knee into the leg of the coffee table. That You know we can hear you, right?
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay.
About like, I like wasn't thinking about it until like about halfway through that, and then I was like, oh well, I already started.
You can see the look on my face when I was just like, that's
Yeah.
when you were just like, well, shit.
No,
Right?
it was like on my way back. I was like, oh wait, me taking my headphones off doesn't turn the microphone off.
It does not. But it brings us to victim Keith Bennett. In the early spring of June of in the early evening of June 1964, Hindley asked 12-year-old Keith Bennett, who was on his way to his grandmother's house in Longsight, Manchester, for help in loading some boxes into her mini pickup, after which she said that she would drive him home. Brady was in the back of the van, and she drove to a lay-by on Saddleworth Moor, and Brady went off with Bennett, supposedly, again, looking for the fucking lost glove.
How have they not found the glove yet?
Helping, fuck. Like, the thing that I learned the most from these stories is, like, don't ever help someone who needs help finding something that's lost. Don't ever do that.
Yeah. And, like, especially now that we have cell phones, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Just be like,
Oh,
I'll
oh my
call
God.
someone for you. Bye.
Oh my God, I lost my glove. Can you help me find it?
Nope.
Buy a new one on Amazon, bitch.
It was expensive. Well, if you could afford it once, just buy another one.
Yeah, sorry. It's not happening, babe. Peace. But, God damn it. So, when they reached the moor, Brady took Kilbride with him while Hindley waited in the car. Brady sexually assaulted Kilbride and tried to slit his throat. Oh, wait. No, wait. I said that already. Yeah, I already
Next
did
person.
Sorry. Next one. All right. So they went, Brady went off with Bennett, supposedly looking for the lost glove again. And after about 30 minutes, Brady returned alone, carrying a spade that he had hidden there earlier, and in response to Hindley's question, said that he had sexually assaulted Bennett and then strangled him with a piece of string. How fucking strong was string in the 60s? Like, damn.
I mean, I'm guessing it, like, I feel like by string, they most likely mean, like, twine.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just my assumption, and, like, yeah, you know, that shit's pretty sturdy.
Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. Which brings us to the next victim, Leslie Ann Downey. So Brady and Hindley visited a fairground 6th of December, 1964, so Boxing Day, as they call it in England. Why, I don't know.
Oh, I used to know. And
I'm going to ask I'm going to find out what the significance of Boxing Day. All right, so the name comes from a time in which the rich used to box up gifts to give to the poor. Okay, Boxing Day was traditionally a day off for servants and the day when they received a special Christmas box from their masters. The servants would also go home on Boxing Day to give Christmas boxes to their families. Okay. It's still
so it was basically just like
poor people Christmas.
Yeah, the second Christmas for rich people and like servants first Christmas.
It's poor people Christmas.
Yeah.
Commoners Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah. So on Boxing Day, 1964, they noticed that 10-year-old Leslie Ann Downey was apparently alone. They approached her and deliberately dropped some shopping that they were carrying and asked her help in taking the packages to their car and then to their home. At the house, Downey was undressed, gagged, and forced to pose for photographs. All right, trigger warning right here, guys. This is a 10-year-old child, and it's going to get kind of graphic here for a second. So I just want to remind everyone, trigger warning here, murder and rape trigger warning, because she was undressed, gagged, forced to pose for photographs before being raped and killed, and perhaps strangled with another string, which we've decided is twine. Hindley later maintained that she went to fill a bath for Downey and found her dead when she returned. Brady claimed that Hindley killed Downey. And to be perfectly honest, I'm more inclined to believe Ian Brady in this instance. Again.
Yeah, because he would take the credit if he had done it.
He would take the credit if he had done it, absolutely. But also, not just that. Listen, as a girl, I know that girls will sometimes throw other people under the bus. I've seen it my whole ass life, and yeah, I'm not attacking my own sex, but let's be honest here, girls are devious.
Yeah, they definitely can be.
And I feel like if you're a girl who's already started murdering, there's a likely chance that you will be devious too, babe.
Maybe a little bit. A
little bit devious. But the following morning, Brady and Hindley drove Downey's body to Saddleworth Moor and buried her naked with her clothes at her feet in a shallow grave. Their next murder, however, wouldn't take place for almost an entire year. And that would be the murder of Edward Evans, who was murdered on the 6th of October, 1965, when Hindley drove Brady to Manchester railway station, where she waited outside in the car while he selected a victim. After a little bit, Brady reappeared in the company of 17-year-old Edward Evans, an apprentice engineer who lived in Ardwick, and to whom he introduced Hindley as his sister. They drove to Brady and Hindley's home at 16 Wardlebrook Avenue in Hasterley, Cheshire, where they relaxed over a bottle of wine. At some point, Brady sent Hindley to fetch David Smith, the husband of Hindley's younger sister, Maureen. The Hindley family had not approved of Maureen's family to Smith, who had several criminal convictions, including actual bodily harm and housebreaking. And that's actually, that right there is actually like a crime in England, actual bodily harm. They actually harmed this person. Like,
yeah, that's just like, I mean, I get what they mean. I feel like it's just kind of like, just like a basic assault charge, but it's just worded in kind of a funny, like, not like a ha-ha funny way, but it just sounds so specific.
Yeah. Just, oh God, what's the best way to describe how I think of that? It's just like, they actually caused him bodily harm. They actually did it.
Just, yeah, like, they weren't just, like, threatening, like...
They actually did it.
Yeah. Wasn't just like, one of these days, Alice, bang, zap, straight to the moon. Like, no, he actually, like, smacked the shit out of her.
Yeah. So, the first of his convictions, which was wounding with intent, occurred when he was 11. You think wounding with intent is just like he smacked someone in the face and they were like, I have been wounded with the intent of injury.
Mm-hmm.
Help me, Father. Help me. He's wounded me.
Just, all right, son, you're going to jail.
I've been wounded with the intent of wounding. Help me, the brute. He has wounded me.
Just, all right, kid, you rub some dirt in it. You, kid, you're going to jail.
I've never heard of this dirt. Is it a miracle cure, sir?
just grabs a fistful of dirt, rubs it in their cheek. There you go.
Lisa, why have you soiled me? I was looking so fancy for the party. Why have I been soiled? This
You have
isn't
been-
meant for soiling.
You have been soiled because you are a little shit.
I'm telling the queen. You've said a horrible word. I'm telling the vicar and the queen.
Get the Bible. Get the Bible.
Because that's exactly what England is like, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That kid was like a chav, though. Oi, he has wounded me with intent, yeah? Like, he intended to wound me.
You got a slap on the cheek, mate.
Yeah, well, he's a, you know, he did it with intent, though.
You aren't even wounded.
I could be, though. He intended for it, though.
I could have internal bleeding. You don't know. Look at how red
Yeah,
my cheek
look.
is.
It's red. There's a bruise. That is internal bleeding. That is wounding with intent, though. Right?
I'm gonna smack you on the other cheek.
That is attempted wounding. That is an attempt.
Yeah, well, I haven't done it, have I?
No, but you would, though.
Yeah, I would, but I won't.
So you won't then.
No, I won't. Because that's intent.
You're intentionally trying to hurt me, though, aren't you?
No, I just intentionally want to hurt you.
Right, yeah. All right, you all see that? He intends to hurt me. I just hit my hand against my computer so fucking hard. Oh my god.
Are
Holy
you okay?
Oh my god. Ow. I hit like my middle finger, but like right on the knuckle.
Oh.
Like right against the edge of my computer. Oh my fucking god, that hurt. I gotta drink about it. Excuse me. Ouch! Fuck me, that hurt.
I'm sorry that you hurt yourself.
Doing improv, for fuck's sake.
Dumbass.
Wow. That was an intense hurt though, wasn't it?
Yeah, hurt my feelings.
Am I bothered though? Ask me if I'm bothered. Ask me if I'm bothered. I am bothered though.
Look at my face. Look at my
Look
face.
at my face. Look at my face. Is this the bothered face? No, it ain't. Because I ain't bothered.
So you ain't wounded then?
I is wounded though, but I ain't bothered.
Oh God, I love that. I love Catherine Tate.
Oh my god. Have you listened? Did I tell you about that podcast that David Tennant does?
Yes! Oh my God! And I have not
Catherine
listened
Tate
to it
episode
yet.
yet?
No.
Dude,
I
you
need
need
so
to.
bad.
She's fucking brilliant. Oh my god. You gotta listen to the Jodie Whittaker episode too, because she's fucking awesome.
And just like those two together, like I just love them so much.
Catherine Tate and David Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, friendship goals.
They were in a production of Much Ado that I wish I could have seen, where they were Beatrice and Benedict, and I am 100% certain that it was the funniest shit in the universe, but I didn't get to see it.
I'm fairly certain, but you know, who knows. Anyways, so at some point, let's see. So through the previous year, Brady had been cultivating a friendship with Smith, who had become in awe of Brady. something that increasingly worried Hindley as she felt it compromised their safety. However, Hindley returned with Smith and told him to wait outside for her signal, which was a flashing light. And when the signal came, Smith knocked on the door and was met by Brady, who asked if he'd come for the miniature wine bottles, and then left him in the kitchen saying that he was going to collect the wine. Smith later told the police, I'm going to do it as if Smith was a chav, though. I think he's probably chav, though, don't you think?
Probably. I mean, like, these people are from, like, Manchester. Like, they're...
I can't do a Manchester accent, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's really hard to do a Northern English accent.
Yeah, Mancunian accents are tricky.
Oh, I've done I was talking with my friend who lives in the north one time, and I like said something. I don't remember what it was, and she like was shook, and I was just like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "You sounded like you were from the north just then," and I was just like, "Lots of places have a north. Like that is only."
Oh god, yeah, my family and I used to be like obsessed with Take That, and like all of them were from Manchester. So
Yeah.
we all used to be able to do a Manchester accent, but
Right.
it is lost to the back of my mind. I don't even remember it anymore.
I have realized since I technically don't need to go anywhere, I can drink more wine.
Oh, there you go. Technically, I don't have to go anywhere either. I just have to go to bed.
Should I drink more wine and then you'll pass out faster?
Shay, you're so right.
I know. So, all right, you ready for this? I'm going to do him as a chav, all right? Should I do him as a chav or should I do him as like exceptionally posh? Or should I do him as Jonathan Ross? Ooh, Richard Iowati.
Oh my god!
Should I do him as Richard Iowati?
No, don't drag him into this. Oh god.
Are you okay?
Oh my god, that's so funny.
The lady that I'm house sitting for right now, she's actually from England, and every time I do an English accent, her dog looks over at me so excited.
Oh my god. Oh.
All right, so who should I do it as?
Oh fuck.
Ross?
You posed too many options. Oh shit.
Iowati. Moss. Should I do it as Moss?
Yeah, do it. Let's bring Jonathan Wass into this.
Jonathan Wass? All right.
Jonathan Wass, let's do it.
All right, Jonathan Wass here. I waited about a minute or two, and suddenly I heard a hell of a scream.
Oh no, don't do it. We're not gonna get through it.
I will though. All right. I heard a hell of a scream. It sounded like a woman, really high pitched. Then the screams carried on, one after another, really, really loud. Then I heard Myra shout, "Dave, help him!" very loud. When I ran in, I just stood inside the living room and saw a young lad. He was lying with his head and his shoulders up on the couch, and his legs were on the floor. He was facing upwards. Ian was standing over him, facing him, with his legs on either side of the young lad's legs. The lad was still sleeping. Almost done. I'm almost done.
This is so terrible.
I know.
Oh god, I'm going to hell for this.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Just for this. All right, you want me to continue? All right. The lad was still screaming. Ian had a hatchet in his hand. He was holding it above his head, and he hit the lad on the left side of his head with the hatchet. I heard the blow. It was a terrible, hard blow. It sounded horrible.
Oh my god. I literally didn't retain any of that.
Oh, poor Jonathan Ross.
Does he not say his L's? I could have sworn I thought it was just R's.
I don't fucking remember now. I thought it was L's and R's, but fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Do you want me to redo it as Moss? Do you want me to just redo it? Do you want me to just redo it regular so you know what he said? Want me to give you a minute? Oh my god.
Oh shit.
I had to exaggerate his accent a little bit. Okay, I mean his speech impediment a little bit, just because like, you know, it's funnier that way.
Oh my god. Oh, my throat hurts. Kate, practically. Oh, fuck you!
This is just in, ladies and gentlemen, I have broken Kate again. Kate, I'm not allowed to kill you on Facebook. We've talked about this.
Then why would you do that? There was definite intent there.
I didn't intend it.
It's not intent there. It's not intent there.
Oh my god. Oh shit.
You good?
Oh, fuck. I can't breathe.
This is just like Nessie Part 2. Bless you. Bless you.
Jesus.
You're on your own.
Oh my god, I just got a text from my mom asking me to be quieter.
No? We'll be as loud as we need to be.
Oh god.
You okay?
Yeah,
All right.
good.
You want me to reread that not as Jonathan Ross? So
Yeah, that's probably best.
okay. So I waited around a minute or two, then suddenly I heard a hell of a scream. It sounded like a woman, really high-pitched. Then the screams carried on, one after another, really loud. Then I heard Myra shout, "Dave, help him," very loud. When I ran in, I just stood inside the living room and I saw a young lad. He was lying with his head and shoulders on the couch and his legs were on the floor. He was facing upwards. Ian was standing over him, facing him, with his legs on either side of the young lad's. The lad was still screaming. Ian had a hatchet in his hand. He was holding it above his head, and he hit the lad on the left side of his head with the hatchet. I heard the blow. It was a terrible, hard blow. It sounded horrible.
God, you had me cackling at that.
Yeah.
You are coming down to hell with me.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus
I had you
Christ.
hysterical at that. Are you kidding?
Oh my god.
Hysterical.
Whew.
Yeah, we're going to hell for sure.
Oh yeah.
And she's hysterical at a murder, and not the kind of hysterical you would want to be at a murder.
No. Not like in like panicked hysterics, in like stitches hysterics.
Can you imagine if I did it as boss then?
Oh my god. I can't. I can't. My throat can't take it. My cheeks
I'm just
can't take it.
gonna do the first bit, all right? Just the first sentence. Okay, that's it. I promise. I waited about a minute or two when suddenly I heard a hell of a scream. It sounded like a woman, really high pitched. That's it. That's all you get. Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't do it as boss.
Oh,
All
four.
right.
I mean 5. I mean fire.
4. I mean 5. I mean fire. Have you seen that meme where it's Moss and he's sitting there and there's like the fire and it says boy, I mean girl,
Yeah.
I mean fire.
Yep. Did they call the emergency services?
Oh, 918
999 88199
911
911
3.
3.
We're still gonna get tattoos of that, right?
Oh yeah, just
All right, cool. Yeah, on our fingers. It's gonna suck, by the way, on the finger,
oh yeah, that is going to suck, but it's
Yeah.
going to happen.
but it's going to be worth it. We could even do that in Vegas. I'm sure my guy Lucky would do it.
Maybe, yeah.
Although,
Figure it out.
yeah, maybe not quite right now, but yeah. We'll figure it out, exactly. So anyways, so Smith then watched Brady throttle Evans with a length of electrical cord. Brady sprained his ankle in the struggle, and Evans's body was too heavy for Smith to carry to the car on his own. So they wrapped him in plastic sheeting and put him in the spare bedroom. During the 1990s, Hindley claimed that she took part in this killing only because Brady had drugged her, was blackmailing her with pornographic pictures he had taken of her, and had threatened to kill her younger sister, Maureen. And in a 2008 television documentary series on female serial killers broadcast on ITV3, Hindley's solicitor, Andrew McCooey, reported that she had said to him, all right, you want me to just, how do you want me to do this one? This is her talking.
She should sound super posh.
She should sound super posh. All right.
Yeah, because she's fake as hell.
She is fake as hell. All right. Let's see. She said, sorry, wine in my throat. Sorry.
Swallow it, dumbass.
Yeah. I drank more wine to swallow the wine. All right. Super posh, super posh. All right. I ought to have been hanged. I deserved it. My crime was worse than Brady's because I had always enticed the children that they would never have entered the car without my rule. I've always regarded myself as worse than Brady. Posh enough?
I think so, yeah. I think the only way it could have been posher would be if you had said that just straight through your nose.
Oh, all right. Hang on. I ought to have been hanged. I deserved it. Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My crime was worse than Brady's
crime
because I enticed the
Brady,
children.
because I had enticed the children, and they would never have entered the car without my rule. I've always regarded myself as worse than Brady.
Yeah, so like she's saying she's worse, but she actually knows she's better.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just so contradictory, so phony.
Which is really funny because she's from fucking Manchester, so like
Exactly. She
Yeah.
phony.
She
She a
phony.
phony ass
Phony.
hoe.
She phony for show. So Smith agreed to return the following morning with his baby's pram, which, for those of you who don't know, is a stroller. case you don't speak English, and by which I mean British.
British.
Yeah. I saw this really great thing, and it was like, where did you learn how to speak English? And the person was just like, England.
So you don't know real English then?
I don't speak American, but I speak English. But anyway.
Are you English, sir?
Well, I'm British.
But so you ain't English then?
I'm Scottish.
So you ain't English though?
No, but as you can tell, I can speak English.
See, I don't think you can though, because I can't understand a word you're saying.
I don't think you are though. I think you're 930-year-old Time Lord. You parked from me there. Do you fancy Billy
your
Piper?
house?
Yeah.
Is it bigger on the inside?
What? Do you fancy Billy Piper, sir? But so stop. Let me read this shit. Jesus Christ. We're almost at 2 hours.
I'm sorry.
We could have done 2 fucking episodes on this.
Well,
here we are. Anyways, so so he agreed to return the following morning with the baby's pram for use in transporting Evans's body to the car before disposing it on the moors. He arrived home around 3 a.m. and asked his wife, this is the most English thing, he asked his wife to make him a cup of tea which he drank before vomiting and telling her what he had witnessed. At 6:10 a.m., having waited for daylight and armed himself with a screwdriver and a bread knife in case Brady was planning to intercept him, Smith called the cops from a phone box on the estate. And for those of you who don't know what on the estate, it's basically like the projects. So he lived
that
in
just confused me
estate.
further.
What?
That just confused me further.
So he lived in like estate housing. So that's like, in Kingsman, where he lives with his mom?
Yeah.
That's estate housing. So that's sort of like low income housing.
Okay.
So like when I said the projects, like when I lived in New Orleans, there was the Desire Street Projects, which was basically estate housing in the US.
Got it.
So it's basically a ghetto.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was picked up by police by a police car from the phone box and taken to Hyde Police Station, where he told the officers what he had witnessed in the night. Superintendent Bob Talbot of the Stalybridge Police Division went to 16 Wardlebrook Avenue, accompanied by a detective sergeant. While wearing a beard and deliveryman's overalls on top of his uniform, he asked Myra Hindley at the back door if her husband was home. When she denied that she had a husband or that a man was in the house, Talbot identified himself. Hindley led him into the living room where Brady was laying on a divan writing to his employer about his ankle injury. Talbot explained that he was investigating an act of violence involving guns that was reported to have taken place the previous evening. Hindley denied that there had been any violence and allowed police to look around the house. And when police asked for a key to the locked spare bedroom, Hindley said that it was at her workplace. But after the police offered to take her to retrieve it, Brady told her to just hand it over. When the police returned to the living room, they arrested Brady's suspicion of murder. So I imagine it was very much like the police opened up that spare bedroom and they're just like, wow, that looks like a body then, doesn't it?
And he's just kind of like, suppose it does.
Right. So you are charged on suspicion of murder, aren't you? Because we are very suspicious about how that body was murdered.
Well, I guess that's how it's got to be then.
Right. If you wouldn't mind too terribly, would you stand up, turn around, and put your hands behind your back then?
I mean, I've got my ankle injury.
Right. Well, we can get you a wheelchair that has handcuffs in the arms, right? Does that work for you?
Right, yeah, I think that'll work.
Right, all right. Do you mind if I use your telephone? I need to call for the special arresting chair. They bork.
Okay, I was going to say, did you hear all that?
I hear them bork. So they arrested him on suspicion of murder, and as Brady was getting dressed, he said, Eddie and I had a row last night, and the situation got out of hand. And Eddie and I had a row, and the situation got out of hand.
Oh God. Eddie and I had a wow.
Oh no. Oh, I did a horrible thing to my brain. I did a really horrible thing to my brain.
What did you do?
Eddie and I had a row last night. Things got out of hand. For those of you who don't know, that was Noel Fielding, aka
I had a row last night.
the one man that I would honestly, yeah, there aren't words. There are not words.
If Roy said it, that would be funny too, but that's just because Roy would be like such a bad liar.
Yeah, he'd be all high pitched though.
Yeah.
Douglas.
And I had a row last night.
Yeah, that's good. Trying to imagine how I could do it as Douglas though. Eddie and I had a row last night. I can't do Douglas. I can't.
No, Douglas is difficult. Douglas is tricky.
It's really difficult. But he's also Laszlo in What We Do in the Shadows on the TV show.
I did know that.
He's so fucking funny. Oh my god, that dude is a fucking comedic genius.
Oh crap. I forgot this was glittery.
All right, anyways, so though Hindley was not initially arrested, she demanded to go with Brady to the police station and took her dog Puppet with her. She refused to make any statement about Evan's death beyond claiming that it had been an accident, and she was allowed to go home on the condition that she returned the next day. Over the next 4 days, I'm pretty sure that is like, we should arrest you. And she's just like, yeah, yes, you should. But unfortunately, I'm experiencing my menses. So you don't really want to deal with me in your police station, do you?
Oh God, we don't need to hear about your women troubles. All right, we'll be back for you.
You have a tampon by any chance?
All of them run in fear.
Yeah. Oh no, she has a vagina.
Some men even are put off by the word vagina.
Vagina. So over the next 4 days, Hindley visited her employer and asked to be dismissed so that she would be eligible for unemployment benefits. On one of these occasions, Hindley found an envelope belonging to Brady, which she burned in an ashtray, and she claimed that she didn't open it, but believed that it contained plans for bank robberies. On the 11th of October, she too was arrested and taken into custody, being charged as an accessory to the murder of Edward Evans and was remained at Risley. To which I imagine the conversation started. Oh, we've got a comment here. Wait, did you guys start late? No, we've just been going for 2 hours.
Yep.
I broke Kate at one point. It was really funny.
Oh, God.
I read a statement from a witness, a la Jonathan Ross, and Kate died a little bit.
It was too much. I couldn't. I'm so sleep deprived that I just my brain and my body could not handle it. I broke down.
Jonathan Ross.
That poor son of a bitch can't even say his own name.
But his wife is like hot though. Like his wife is so cool.
Really?
Oh yeah, his wife is like really cute, and then she's like really accomplished too. She's like a screenwriter and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, she's really cute. I think she has pink hair.
Cute.
Yeah, hang on a second. I can't remember
So
her.
what we're saying is Jonathan Ross is a gold digger.
Okay. No, because I don't know how to answer that. Yeah. So his wife is Jane Goldman. She's like super cool and like alternative looking and stuff, and they've been married since like 1988.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah. She I think she wrote Kick-Ass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And she's involved in the Kingsman movies.
That is also cool.
What are you laughing about?
I'm just remembering that bit in Big Fat Quiz where Jonathan Ross pulls up his phone and he's like, yes, he put his balls on my forehead.
Oh, Jack Whitehall.
Oh, God, I love Jack Whitehall.
I just love, you need a ladder to get to the top of your collar. Why is it so high?
Why is it so high? Talking about my shirt while you're sitting next to Noel Field. That's how bad your shirt is.
I love Richard Iowati just like defending Noel Fielding with his fucking life.
Oh, God. Avert your vaudevillian eyes away from my beautiful wife.
So anyways, so the way I imagine the conversation going when they arrested Myra, right, is the sort of like them just being like, oh, your lady time's over.
No.
Are you quite sure about that?
Oh, they can last for days. Days
Right,
on
yeah,
end.
but it's been 5 days. It's been 4 days though. So is it over yet?
This is just a really rough time for me right now.
Right. Yeah.
I just need a little bit more time before I'm ready to give myself up. I'm sure you understand, right?
No, absolutely. Of course. Can I offer you a
A what?
a
I'm sorry. I need you to speak up. I can't hear you.
a tampon?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a tampon?
Yeah.
Do you have a tampon that I can put in my vagina for my bleeding uterus?
You're under arrest. You're under arrest. That's it. You're under arrest. I don't care where blood's coming from. You are under arrest.
What, officer? What if I were to bleed on you from my vagina?
I would be forced to kill you. I would take you back and I would shoot you in the head.
Then I would have blood coming out both ends, top and bottom.
And then I would kill myself. So the
Okay,
police.
come on, we're so over. We gotta get through this.
Oh my god, I know it's bad. We were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a long episode tonight. Jesus fucking Christ. Little did we fucking know.
Neither of us were prepared for this amount of stupidity we would bring to the table tonight.
We really weren't. This is the problem. When I don't have anywhere to go at nighttime, I drink way too much wine and get way too stupid. And now I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna fucking watch Big Fat Quiz until 4 in the morning. FYI.
That sounds like a party. That is a solid Tuesday night.
It is a solid fucking Tuesday night. I'm gonna finish off this bottle of wine and I'm gonna drink the other bottle of wine tonight. Boom. Weak plans.
There you go. All right, come on. Let's wrap it up.
So, police searching the house at Waterbrook Avenue found an old exercise book with the name John Kilbride, which honestly, I don't know what the fucking exercise book is. So I'm gonna guess it's like his diary for like when he's exercised, you know? And for those of you who don't really know, a diary is in England is different than a diary here. A diary in England is like a journal or like a planner.
Oh.
Yeah. So when they say, oh, let me check my diary, what they mean is I'm gonna check my planner.
Then what do they call a diary? A journal?
Maybe. I don't really know. Ask Gemma. Well, that probably would help if I took the cap off.
Just excuse me.
Seriously, I literally was like, I was just like, I was like, oh. Fuck, it is your day off, Kel. Fuck. I forgot. Kelly's watching on Discord, by the way. Or not Discord.
Hi, Kelly.
Wow. Discord, Twitch.
See, somehow I knew that you meant that.
It's because both of the logos are purple.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why it fucked me up. But yeah, Kelly's watching on Twitch. Fuck. I didn't even think of that.
Kelly.
Anyways, so they suspected that Brady and Hindley had been involved in the disappearances of other youngsters. Brady told the police that he and Evans had fought, but insisted that he and murdered Evans and that Hindley had only done what she had been told at first. Smith said that Brady had asked him to return anything incriminating, such as dodgy books, which Brady then packed into 2 suitcases. He had no idea what else the suitcases contained or where they might be, though he mentioned that Brady had a thing about railway stations. In search of left luggage, officers turned up the suitcases at Manchester Central Rail Station on 15th of October, and the claim ticket was later found in Hindley's prayer book. Inside one of the cases were, among an assortment of costumes, notes, photographs, and negatives, 9 pornographic photographs taken of Leslie Ann Downey, naked with a scarf tied across her mouth, and a 16-minute audio tape recording of a girl screaming and pleading for help. Downey's mother later confirmed that the recording, too, was of her daughter. God. Oh, God, that's so fucked up. You texted me when? Oh, wait, you texted me yesterday. Yeah. Totally forgot to reply to that. I was driving when I got texted. But you texted me asking if I was in LA yet. Yeah, I remember now. We should definitely hang out though. So text me again. Anyway. Just saying. Let me know what time you get off work. Oh, fuck, I have to do Ron's show tomorrow. Text me when you get off work. Friday, I'm free. Yeah. Anyways, and I'm free during the day, every day. So anyways,
Circle back.
circling back, officers making inquiries at the neighboring houses spoke to 12-year-old Pat Hodges, who had on several occasions been taken to Saddleworth Moor by Brady and Hindley, and was able to point out their favorite sites along the A635 road. Police immediately began to search the area, and on 16th of October found an arm bone protruding from the peat, which was assumed at first to be Kilbride's, but the next day was identified as that of Leslie Ann Downey, whose body was still visually identifiable. Her mother was also able to identify the clothing which had been buried in her grave. Also among the photographs in the suitcase were a number of scenes of the moors. Smith had told police that Brady had boasted of photographic proof of multiple murders, and officers struck by Brady's decision to remove the apparently innocent landscapes from the house appealed to locals for assistance, finding locations to match the photographs. On the 21st of October, they found the badly decomposed body of Kilbride, which had to be identified by clothing. That same day, already being held for the murder of Evans, Brady and Hindley appeared at Hyde Magistrates Court charged with Downey's murder. Each was brought before the court separately and remanded into custody for a week. They made a 2-minute appearance on the 28th of October and again were remanded into custody. The investigating officers suspected Brady and Hindley of murdering other missing children and teenagers who had disappeared from the areas in and around Manchester over the previous few years, and the search for bodies continued after the discovery of Kilbride's body, but with winter settling in, it was called off in November. Presented with the evidence of the tape recording, Brady admitted to taking the photographs of Downey, but insisted that she had been brought to Wardlebrook Avenue by two men who had subsequently taken her away again alive. Meanwhile, I want everyone to remember that this is a fucking 10-year-old that they're talking about, all right? Downey is a goddamn 10-year-old. Friday is your birthday, Kel? Ooh, that's awesome. Anyways. So by the 2nd of December, 1965, Brady had been charged with the murders of Kilbride, Downey, and Evans. Hindley had been charged with the murders of Downey and Evans and being an accessory to the murder of Kilbride. At the committal hearing on the 6th of December, Brady was charged with the murders of Evans, Kilbride, and Downey, and Hindley with the murders of Evans and Downey, as well as harboring Brady in the knowledge that he had killed Kilbride. The prosecution's opening statement was held in a camera rather than in open court, and the defense asked for a similar stipulation but was refused. The proceedings continued before 3 magistrates in Hyde over an 11-day period during December. The pair were committed for a trial at Chester as Assizes. Most of the photographs taken by Brady and Hindley on the moor featured Hindley's dog Puppet, sometime as a puppy. To help date these photos, oh, Kate, you're not going to like this. Just a trigger warning right now for animal stuff. All right.
Okay.
All right. So to help date these photos, detectives had a veterinary surgeon examine the dog to determine his age. The examination required a general anesthetic from which Puppet did not recover.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Hindley was furious and accused the police of murdering the dog, one of the few occasions detectives witnessed any emotional response from her. Hindley wrote to her mother. We're doing super posh for Hindley, yeah?
Well, now she's being real, so maybe we can do something
Chav her
different. Yeah, chav her up.
Chav her up, right. I feel as though my heart's been torn to pieces, yeah? I don't think anything could hurt me more than this has. The only consolation is that some moron might have got a hold of Puppet and hurt him. Chaved up. I do feel
Poor
bad for
Puppet.
I feel
Puppet.
bad for the dog. They didn't know that he was going to have a bad reaction to general anesthesia. Like they didn't know that. It's not the vet at that point, you know?
Yeah, that shit's tricky, and like especially like in the 60s, like that shit was.
Like, I mean, my grandma's cat died because of that, because he went in for surgery and the anesthesia just reacted with him badly and he died. That cat was the fattest fucking cat. He was so fat and also so fluffy.
Oh.
And he was so sweet, and his name was Danny. And I miss that cat so much because he would just let you just like pick him up and then just do that with him. Like, no. He was just fine with everything. You just pick him up and then just like kind of just like do a little swing with him, and then you could just like flip him into your arms and just hold him like a baby, and he would just be like, yes, hold me, rub my belly.
When I was cat sitting for my sister, I forgot that Butt Cat does not like to be held like a baby, but I'm just in the habit of picking a cat up like a baby because that's how I hold Mango all the time. So I picked him up like a baby one time, like one of my first days that I was there, and he just like gave me this look, and he like made this really funny noise. It was just kind of like a little.
What the fuck?
He was very not happy about it. It was very funny, so I felt bad, but it was funny.
I'm gonna see if Harry likes to be held like a baby. I don't know if he likes it, but he's fine with it.
He's chill. Yeah, he looks pretty chill.
Look at him. He's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now.
My world, it is upside down.
Hey, pay attention to me. He doesn't want to. All right.
Come on, last paragraph.
Thank you for your contribution to science. I'll take you out to pee in a minute. Kelly says that there's actually a test for that now, so that's good to know. If there's a test to see if your animal will be okay under anesthesia, that's actually really good to know. My grandma's cat died, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago. Not 100% sure on that, but yeah, anyway, so it's been like a hot minute because, you know, my grandma's been in the homes, in and out of the homes, and then in the hospice and everything for a hot minute. But anyway, so their trial lasted less than a month, and on May 6th, 1966, after just 2 hours of deliberation, the jury came back having found Brady guilty of all 3 murders and Hindley guilty of the murders of Downey and Evans. As the death penalty for the murders had been abolished while Brady and Hindley were on remand, the judge passed the only sentence that the law would allow: life imprisonment. Brady was sentenced to 3 concurrent life sentences, and Hindley was given 2, plus a concurrent 7-year term for harboring Brady in the knowledge that he had murdered Kilbride. Brady was taken to
die in prison 3 times.
Yeah. Brady was taken to Durham prison, and Hindley was sent to Holloway prison. So you want to know what happened to these fucks? We said it at the top of the show, but let's talk about what happened to them next.
Oh my fucking god, they fucking did.
Oh my fucking god, they fucking did. So So Brady asked, while he was in Durham prison, he asked to live in solitary confinement. He spent 19 years in the mainstream prisons before being diagnosed as a psychopath in November 1985 and was sent to the high-security Park Lane Hospital, Ashworth Psychiatric Hospital in Sefton, and he made it clear that he never wanted to be released. The trial judge recommended that his life sentence could mean life, and successive home securities agreed with that decision. In 1982, the Lord Chief Justice, God, that is such a fucking cool title. The Lord Chief Justice.
Sounds like a fucking like class in D&D.
Right? Yes, I'm level 5 Lord Chief Justice. What are you?
Oh, you've reached Lord status. Look at you, fancy bitch.
You're only a Chief Justice, right?
Yeah, just chief. I need like 100 more XP before I can get Lord.
Oh, right. That girl that I was talking to earlier is really into D&D, by the way.
Nice.
Cute as fuck and into D&D. I'm into it.
You got to tell her all about our Fit Wizard Roy story.
God, I have been talking about Fit Wizard Roy so much from the past week, and I don't even remember why right now, but I know that it's come up at least twice.
Oh, I love Fit Wizard Roy.
Hello, Fit Wizard Roy.
Okay, no, come on, we're almost done. Come on.
All right. So, in 1982, the Lord Chief Justice Lord Lane said of Brady, that is literally his name. His name is he's a Lord. Anyways, whatever. Who cares? So he said, if this is the case, if ever there is to, hang on, this is the case. If ever there is one to be, there is to be one when a man should stay in prison until he dies. The death in November 2007 of John Strafton, who had spent 55 years in prison for murdering 3 children, meant that Brady became the longest serving in England and Wales. And although he refused to work with psychiatrists, he occasionally corresponded with people outside the hospital, of course subjected to the prison authorities' censorship, including Lord Langford, writer Colin Wilson, and various journalists. In one letter, written in 2005, he claimed that the murders were merely an existential exercise of just over a year, which concluded in December 1964. But then he claimed that he and Hindley had turned their attention to armed robbery, for which they had begun to prepare by acquiring guns and vehicles. If by acquiring vehicles he meant that they hired a van, because that's what they did. Stupid. We were acquiring vehicles there, weren't we? You hired a fucking van, bro.
Just like they make it sound like they had like a fleet of cars. Like, bitch, it was a van.
You hired a van. And then another time you borrowed someone's fucking truck. Like, calm down, bro. Calm down. And by truck, I mean like a pickup, like not a semi. So chill.
Y'all ain't shit.
But anyway, during several years of interactions with forensic psychologist Chris Crowley, including several face-to-face meetings, Brady told him of an aesthetic fascination he had with guns, despite never having used one to actually kill. He complained bitterly about the conditions at Ashworth, which he hated, and in 1999, his right wrist was broken in what he claimed was an hour-long unprovoked attack by staff. I'm assuming he was a fucking moron, and the staff was just like, stop doing this, okay, fine, we gonna fucking throw you down. And then they threw him down, and then they broke his wrist, and then he was just like, it was unprovoked.
They had intent.
That was intent there, wasn't it?
Oh God. Fuck.
After which, Brady subsequently went on a hunger strike. But while English law allows patients to refuse treatment, those being treated for mental health disorders under the Mental Act of 1983 have no such right if their treatment is for their mental disorder. Force-fed and transferred to another hospital for tests after he fell ill. He recovered and in March 2000 asked for a review of the legality of the decision to force feed him, but was refused permission. Yeah. To which he had to say, how we doing him? We doing him chav? We doing him, what we doing him?
I feel like chav works for him. I feel like that's what we were doing.
It really does, yeah. All right. Myra gets that potentially fatal brain condition whilst I have to simply fight to die. I have had enough. I want nothing. My objective is to die and release myself from this once and for all. So you see, my death strike is rational and pragmatic. I'm only sorry I didn't do it decades ago. I'm eager to leave this cesspit in a coffin. God, he's so fucking emo.
Do you have like a tagline that's not from like Hot Topic?
Right? Seriously. Seriously. All right, hang on. Let me redo this as like an emo, like an English emo, though, yeah?
You gotta like, pull the hair like in your face.
Yeah, hang on. Let me do that. If I had bangs, this would be perfect. Unfortunately, I don't have bangs. Did I send you that TikTok earlier from the Maya Mortal TikTok?
Yes, you did.
Did you see that Gemma commented on that one?
No, I didn't. I can't see comments because I don't actually.
Oh, that's right. You don't have TikTok because you're lame. All right, hang on.
Don't care.
You suck. That's why. Myra gets a potentially fatal brain condition, whilst I have to simply fight to die. I've had enough. I want nothing. My objective is to die and release myself from this once and for all. So you see, my death strike is rational and pragmatic. I'm only sorry I didn't do it decades ago, and I'm eager to leave this cesspit in a coffin. Okay, see, now why did that fucking fit, though?
Yeah, that was so cringe.
That was
Holy
so real,
shit.
wasn't it?
Holy
That was just
shit.
too real.
Ugh.
That was just too real right there. I've known guys like this. Shit. My God. That's how I have to feel about that. How do you feel about that? Oh yeah? All right. He sneezed.
He's allergic to that bullshit.
Yeah, it's same. So,
this one really got away from us.
Yeah. Anyways, so by 2012, Brady applied to be returned to prison, reiterating his desire to starve himself to death. At a mental health tribunal in June the following year, Brady claimed that he suffered not from paranoid schizophrenia, as his doctors at Ashworth maintained, but a personality disorder. Where are you going? At Ashworth Hospital on May 15th. Ooh, sorry. Good? You good? You're so dramatic. You're so dramatic. This dog, this one, he, like, while we're laying in bed, yeah, he will take over half the bed, and then if I try to scoot him over a little bit just to get more room, he will yelp as if he's being wounded. But it's literally just because he doesn't want to be. Yeah, wounded with intent. It's literally just because he doesn't want to be moved. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
All right.
Anyway. His application was rejected, and the judge stated that Brady continues to suffer from a mental disorder, which is of a nature and degree which makes it inappropriate for him to continue to receive, or which makes it appropriate for him to continue to receive medical treatment. After receiving end-of-life care, Brady died of restrictive pulmonary disease at Ashworth Hospital on the 15th of May, 2017. The inquest found that he died of natural causes and that his hunger strike had not been a contributory factor. Brady had refused food and fluids for more than 48 hours on various occasions, causing him to be fitted with a nasogastric tube, although his inquest noted that his body mass index was not a cause for concern. He was cremated without ceremony, and his ashes were disposed of at sea during the night.
Just, all right, he dead. Yeet.
Yeah, basically, just, he did. Yeet.
Looks at body. This bitch empty. Yeet.
Yeet. It's easier to yeet when the body's broken down, so they just burned him to yeet him. I wonder what the Sloan family thinks of all of this. I'm gonna Google those people. Your sister's texting us. So anyways, Hindley, however, lodged an unsuccessful appeal against her conviction immediately after the trial. And she and Brady continued to correspond by letter until 1971, when she finally ended their relationship. The two remained in sporadic contact for several months, but Hindley fell in love with one of her prison wardeners, Patricia Cairns. So apparently Hindley was just like, oh yeah, you exist, but I'm into this chick Patty over here, so peace.
Just so peace to you and this to her.
Well, more like this to her.
Yeah.
Although for me it's this, because I can't, it's really hard for me to do that. My hands don't want there. It's the muscle. Yeah, I can do that, but it's really hard for me to do. But anyways, so a former assistant governor claimed that such relationships were not unusual in Holloway at the time, and many of the officers were gay and in relationships with either one another or with inmates. Hindley successfully petitioned to have her status as a Category A prisoner changed to Category Gay. Wow. Gay. I just said Category Gay. Category B, which enabled Governor Dorothy Wing to take her on a walk around Hampstead Heath, part of her unofficial policy of reintroducing her charges to the outside world if they were ready. The excursion caused a huge fuck ton of press to get involved, and earned a wing in the official rebuke of the then Home Secretary Robert Carr. And with help from Cairns and outside contacts of another prisoner, Maxine Croft, Hindley planned a prison escape, but it was thwarted when impressions of the prison keys were intercepted by an off-duty policeman, and Cairns was sentenced to 6 years in jail for her part in the plot. Patty is trying to help her escape from prison.
What is this? Orange is the New Black?
Seriously. I didn't even finish that show, but seriously.
I think I finished the first 2 seasons and then I dipped out.
Last thing I really remember was her coming back from getting furlough, I think, and that was in season 2 maybe. I don't fucking remember. Anyway, so in Hindley was told that she should spend 25 years in prison before being considered for parole, and the Lord Chief Justice agreed with that recommendation in 1982. But by January 1985, Home Secretary Leon Britton had increased her tariff to 30 years. By that time, Hindley claimed to be a reformed Catholic, and Downey's mother was at the center of the campaign to ensure that Hindley was never released from prison. And until her death in February 1999, she regularly gave television and newspaper interviews wherever Hindley's release was rumored. In February 1985, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher told Britain that her proposed minimum sentence of 30 years for Hindley and 40 years for Brady were too short, saying, oh God, I gotta do Maggie Thatcher now. How the fuck do I do Thatcher?
Honestly, just read it. I don't even know what she sounds like.
She sounds like a cunt is what she sounds like.
That's what
I
I
do not
understand.
think that either of these prisoners should ever be released from custody. Their crime was the most hideous and cruel in modern times. Which, honestly, I gotta say, I agree with Maggie on this one. This is the one time that I'm agreeing with Thatcher on anything.
Yeah, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. And in 1987, Hindley admitted that the plea for parole she had submitted to the Home Secretary 8 years ago was on the whole a pack of lies. And to some reporters, her cooperation with the searches on Saddleworth Moor appeared a clinical gesture aimed at integrating herself to the parole authorities. Then Home Secretary David Waddington imposed the whole tariff on Hindley in July 1990 after she confessed to having been more involved in the murders than she had originally admitted. Can I help you? What is going on with you? That dog, I swear. He's just walking back and forth. He's being crazy. But anyways, what it boils down to is the law lords agreed that judges, not politicians, should decide how a criminal spends time behind bars and stripped the Home Secretary of the power of set minimum sentences. So they decided that judges were the ones that were allowed to set the minimum sentences. And on the 15th of November, 2002, age 60, Hindley died from bronchial pneumonia at West Suffolk Hospital. She was a 40-a-day smoker who in 1999 had been diagnosed with angina and hospitalized after suffering a brain aneurysm. Camera crews stood rank and file behind steel barriers outside, but none of Hindley's relatives were among the small congregation of 8 to 10 people who attended a short service at Cambridge Crematorium. Such was the strength of feeling more than 35 years after the murders that a reported 20 local undertakers refused to handle her cremation. 4 months later, her ashes were scattered by her ex-partner, Patricia Cairns, less than 10 miles from Saddleworth Moor in Stalybridge County Park. Fears were expressed that the news might result in visitors choosing to avoid the park, which was a local beauty spot, or that the park might even be vandalized. And that is the story. That is the story of the Moors murders, which has gone on for 2.5 fucking hours because Kate and I went off the rails so many goddamn times.
A little bit.
We got to page 8 and then just fucking went off. It was honestly hilarious. We were like, oh shit, we're already on page 8. We better like improv for time. And then it just went off the fucking rails.
A little bit, yeah. And
but honestly,
that is where all of my energy went, was that last bit there.
Yeah. Yeah. But honestly, your energy also kind of went to just, you died a little bit during this episode during the Jonathan Walsh bit.
Yeah. That was where all of my energy and the remainder of my soul went. So Yeah. This last little while, I've just kind of been
Jonathan Ross.
a shell of a person.
Here reporting from Myra Hindley's death. Bless you. Bless you.
It's just I can't even do it anymore. I don't even have the energy to laugh anymore.
Ethan says soul toast. All right, guys. So that was our episode for tonight, guys. If you feel like we have gone above and beyond what is asked of us tonight, which we have. Feel free to throw us a couple dollars at our Venmos. Mine is Dakota's Beard. Kate's Venmo is at Kate O'Rourke 42. If you are interested in checking out the stuff that you don't get to see on the live stream, patreon.com/Dakota's Beard. I was sending Kate videos of the newest video that I've uploaded to our Patreon.
Oh God. Oh,
Kate, you good?
Yeeted me. Oh boy, I'm not, but you will be if you become a Patreon subscriber, and experience it yourself. It is hysterical.
Honestly, it's so fucking funny. Also, I'm looking into some of those websites where you can submit an art design. Fuck me. All right, I'm good. Where you can submit an art design and then you can buy like a hoodie or a t-shirt or whatever. And yeah, Ethan says words. Yeah, it's just because I was hiccuping, Ethan. Thank you.
Drunk bitch.
Listen, I don't have anywhere to go right now. I don't even know if Lyft and Uber is still a thing anymore. Otherwise, I'd go into Hollywood and hang out with Ken and Kelly right now.
Oh, yeah. I heard that they were, like, outlawing Lyft and Uber in California or something like that.
I have no idea what the fuck is going on with them. I'm going to look right now and see if...
No, look it up later. We got to wrap this up. Come on.
Anyways, so what I'm saying is I'm looking into ways to make merch for the show. So keep an eye out. I will probably be posting being like, hey, what do you trust better, Redbubble or Teespring? Like, I don't really know yet, but I really do want to make merch for the show. And I want to make merch for myself, considering I have 6,000 subscribers on TikTok right now. I don't even know what the fuck is going on TikTok right now, but it's wild. And yeah. No, I have 13.4 thousand subscribers on TikTok now. So I'm going to try and get some of them to watch this show because God knows we could use it. Anyways, so you guys, if you enjoy our content, subscribe to Patreon for more content. To see the extra content that we have on Patreon, you only have to spend $5 a month. And it's not that bad. Like, it's really not. Kate, say something.
It like froze, so I didn't catch.
Oh, I said to see our extra content on Patreon, you only have to spend $5 a month.
Oh yeah, and the extra content is super cursed so far, but
currently it is super cursed. Over the next couple of weeks, Kate and I are going to be recording some more stuff for our Patreon content. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be educational, and it's going to also be cursed content because what else would we post on there? Until then, and since we were able to finish this all up in one episode, what we're fucking recording on Thursday, tomorrow. So until then, say goodnight, Kate.
Good night, Kate.
Apparently don't do impressions of Jonathan Ross around Kate. Or should I say Jonathan Wass?
Oh, God.
$13 to $16 to Beverly Hills from there? Fuck that. I mean, I have the money right now, so I could afford it technically. All right, I'll text you. Anyways, good night, everybody.